There we go. You don't know anything about ARMS? Well, to quickly cover how ARMS works. It is a 3D arena fighting game. Generally, if you're looking for the in the most brief terms of how it works, imagine a fighting game or a boxing game that was mixed in with a shooter. You've got the accessibility, all the variety of tools that you come across in shooter, with that being all of your different arms, and then you're also kind of shooting your arms at your opponent. But beyond that, it is very much a boxing game where it's all about footwork, it's all about movement, it's all about positioning and aim. And you'll be able to see some of that right away as we're going to be stepping into the DNA lab for our first bout. Just need to set up some names because I don't have that up. There. Just move this over to that one right there. And as you can see, it is a nice big open field. In this stage in particular, we've got a couple of tubes to obstruct the view and movement of some of these players. It's going to allow players like Aloria right here to get some good cover, charge up that dragon arm, which is just going to allow Aloria to have so much more advantage. ARMS has, it's pretty rock, paper, scissors in its plays. You've got your standard attacks, and then you have your defensive opportunities with shield and evasions. Grabs beat those shields, attacks beat the grabs, and shields beat the attacks. To some degree. It's not necessarily as cut and dried as that, but it flows that way in some manner. On top of that, we do have the rock, paper, scissors of weighted arms. So arms are a little bit heavier than others, but you'll see how that kind of flows out as the matches continue. Aloria going to be able to utilize some effective pressure, takes a very confident first round, and now has Rush ready. You can tell because there's a shiny golden Dorito chip, as people like to call it. Nice and glowing at that bottom right corner. You'll be able to tell when it is activated, as we're going to have a nice little dramatic freeze, and then a huge amount of burst damage is stepping in, allowing Aloria to set up a lead. That said, Paul is ready with a rush of his own, and if he can get it to connect, can easily balance this health pool out. Aloria calling out another good opportunity for the grab. Continues to deepen this lead, but is going to leave themselves nice and vulnerable, taking 265 damage from that rush. Paul now only needing to work a little bit more to balance things out, and a good grab is definitely going to help. A solid grab follow up again, and now Paul just looking for a little bit more damage on the top to be able to lead into the KO. Has that enrage mechanic that Sprayman possesses, and that's going to allow both of his arms to be permanently charged, but it's to no avail. As a homie going to slide in from the top, snipes Paul down, and gives Aloria the first set. So kind of how what you saw there was the players are moving around a lot. It's about trying to corner and pressure your opponent, make sure you have as much space to move around and play as you like or are able to keep yourself in a strong and confident advantaged position. There's a lot of back and forth that goes into these interactions, the mechanics. Various characters have different abilities that they are able to utilize. A lot of that kind of just, you'll pick up on a lot of that as you're watching. And I can always extrapolate more on those mechanics. When a character charges up, or when a character holds dash, lands from a jump, or holds shield for a few moments, they do get a charge effect. And you saw that a lot during that match, where the arm becomes a lot more flashy, extravagant. and a lot more of its latent powers are activated, allowing for easier combos or higher damage. Looks like Paul is going to be bringing out the Master Mumford, the giant mummy wrestler, looking to try to utilize that parabola pressure to overwhelm Aloria, and Aloria going to respond in kind with double parasol. Starting things off, a quick backflip, a solid deflect with that parasol, stopping that grab attempt, and a second one, allowing Aloria to hold onto a light lead. One of Min Min's biggest strengths is the fact that when she is able to charge up her arm, one of them is activated into what is called a dragon arm, and you can tell it looks scaly, it looks scary, and it's much bigger. It also permanently charges the arm, which allows you to more effectively pressure your opponents. And that's what we're seeing a lot of here as Aloria's utilizing that heavy pressure, that heavier weight of that parry functionality, and just boxing out Paul with a fierce determination. Is going to be able to take that first round pretty confidently. Paul changing things up, throwing on the double chalk. I'm going to try to work around those two parasols, and starts off with a feisty 300 damage combo. ARMS is a really cool game. It works really well for a lot of people. There are some people in this world, though, it's not for everybody, just like anything else. Oh, the grab going to be able to connect Aloria, setting up some tempo. Much needed, as right now, Paul has a monumental health lead and is just looking for a couple more hits to get the KO. But it looks like that Dragon Arm Parasol is starting to cause a lot of pressure. And Paul is struggling to find his way around. Quickly knocked into 50% health. And it's going to be not a rush yet. It looks like Aloria's trying to play things safe. Wasn't going to throw it out until they were confident that they had the KO. And they're not going to have it this round, as Paul, going to be able to overwhelm with those chakrams, finally finds a solid swing. And now the score is 1-1. And this time, Paul gonna wait a little bit more, gets some better timing, manages to make that grab attempt work. This rush is going to land quick and fierce, 330 damage. And it's going to allow Aloria to start pressuring in again. Has to be careful, as Paul does have this rush ready, and he's gonna choose to throw it out, taking away that Dragon Arm on knockdown, and immediately putting him square on top in the food chain, looking to munch down this Min Min. A quick double punch though, Aloria going to be able to safely block it out. Now there's a little bit more space for Aloria to be able to box out Paul, but still very low on health, cannot take too many hits. That rush will KO. Just looking for a chance. Aloria had the chance with the rush combo there, goes for it here instead, and it's going to be able to work out. Chakram Parabola combo unfortunately not holding out well enough. And with that, Aloria will be moving on in the brackets. Paul knocked into the lower ends. And will have to swim his way out of the pools. ARMS has gone on sale every once in a blue moon too, so keep your eye open. You might find it at a price that's a little more bearable, as it is still a full-price Nintendo game. It's a little pricey, but it's still a very solid game. Lots of fun to be had. Community is still around. We're always playing it here and there. So if you want to join, if you want to check things out, if you want to be a part of all this, you're more than welcome to. We're always looking for new friends. And with that, because is it just on Switch? Unfortunately, yeah, it is only on the Nintendo Switch. No worries if you don't have one. You can... What region are you in? Because there are very small niche communities. You might be able to find a rare local every once in a while, and you could always drop by, try the game out there. That said, it's very... The ARMS offline scene is very small. And struggling to kind of get a lot of those interactions going on. But if you keep your eye open, you're very likely to find some of those individuals. And I can always help you reach out to certain people, certain groups if you're looking in specific areas. You're in the US? What state? Heading into our next match, Okram going in Funchuck Roaster, personal favorite setup of mine. That Funchuck being a very exceptional tool at parrying light arms and can have some good capabilities of punching down a lot of other tools. Rifa going in with his classic, the Tri-Blast Ice Dragon. Starts off with a quick freeze. That rush is going to come in, catch Rifa in the act. He's going to take 280 damage as a result and sets Okram up with some good tempo. Okram anticipating a potential rush. He's going to be able to play things safe, play things patiently. Has Rifa down in critical. And Rifa still has a lot of work to go to be able to turn this back. Okram trying to find his way and trying to get these last couple of pokes, building up that rush. He just about has it ready, only has to eat or block a couple more hits. There it is. That could lead to a KO, but he just needs a straight hit as well. You can see Okram is trying to play very safe right now, looking to try to utilize the stage's elements, its pillars, and the spacing to be able to keep Rifa away. And with that, first round going to Okram. Heading into our next round, Okram immediately starting off on the top of the food chain, getting a first blood strike. Currently holding a very light lead. Can definitely work out, especially if you're going to get another trade in your favor. And a strong corner rush. Rifa not going to have any options to be able to sneak out of that one. And a stun that's not going to lead into a grab confirm, especially with Okram being frozen, but does get some good pressure and allows Okram to continue to hold on to this light lead. Doing an exceptional job of just playing patiently, but Rifa finally sees a moment for a nice rush and is able to deal 390 damage. Both players knocked into critical. Okram has a rush ready, is looking to close in the distance, force Rifa into a corner, so he cannot evade this. Yeah, that's gonna work! And Okram gonna be able to take the first set off of Rifa. The first to slay Rifa is going to be able to once again find his way in and sets himself up with set advantage. Looks like Rifa is going to stick with the temple grounds. Okram perfectly okay with that, and we're going to be diving right back in. Not the famous one. It's not necessarily in your state, but the St. Louis area, at least for a time, and I would probably still say to this point, is the biggest ARMS community in North America. I can look into getting you details to join the STL community, so that maybe if events are going on, you can join and hang out with them. Starting off this round, it's going a lot more evenly. Rifa starting with some good pressure and damage, but finally gets knocked down. Okram finally finds a chance to get buffed up. That's going to give him at least a handful of seconds, 5 seconds of incredibly powerful armor, which means that the arms that Rifa currently has equipped cannot knock him down, as well as perma-charging his arms and just generally giving Brass a strong stat boost. Rifa trying to dance his way around, slowly picking away at Okram's health. We do have an enraged Brass though, which is just going to permanently give Okram those advantage states, and a strong rush that's not going to KO, but puts Rifa in a very perilous position and hesitates and gets caught out by a long-ranged grab, setting Okram up, match point, looking for one more win to be able to make it to winners finals. Many would call this a very dramatic upset. I've seen this before though, Okram being one of the first players to be able to take Rifa out in bracket, and it looks like he's aiming to do that once again. Rifa changing things up, equips the Slamamander. It's going to have a little bit more curve compared to that Ice Dragon. Has a wind element that's going to lead into that knockdown. And causes a lot more spacing, gives Rifa a lot more space whenever it connects just like that. And so far, this exchange working out so much more effectively for Rifa. This space, that Slamamander just causing Okram so much more pressure in combination with the Tri-Blast. Now Okram having to fight from critical health, turn this entire round back, and he doesn't have any health to be able to take anything beyond, and Rifa going to be able to take a round point for himself. Gonna dive right back in, and it looks like both players are going to be sticking with their loadouts. Okram confident that he can just, if he can just make this work one more time, he will be able to take Rifa down and make it to the winners finals. Rifa knows this, trying to play safe, trying to play smart, not get too caught up in anything, but it's going to be this strong rush, quickly coming in, getting 200 damage even, and deepening this lead that Okram is currently withholding, sustaining. He is winning. That wind element, Rifa going to be able to start getting some more tempo, has a good shield breaker rush, as all of the projectiles, all of the bullets from those two hits could easily eat through a shield, but the Chakram just going to eat through Rifa's face first. And Okram is looking to close this out with a clean 2-0 sweep against Rifa. Out comes the rush. Rifa gonna desperately dodge out of the way, but not for long enough. And Okram walking away, moving into the winners finals with a 2-0 advantage against Rifa. With the magic muscles. Here, not the famous one. Follow this link. It'll lead you to the St. Louis Arms community. And from there, you should be able to get in touch with some people who are kind of near you. I know they also run a yearly event. And unfortunately, it looks like our other semi-final match currently began already, so unfortunately, gonna have to wait a few moments as they... hang on, I'm just seeing what's going on. Let's see. We're just gonna have them go off stream. Just no sense in going into a match that's already midway through. So I guess we can get set up for the next one. Let's see how things going. I don't know why the things are dashboard is looking the way that it is. Because it looks really weird and it won't go back. With that, we are going to take a quick break while we let those two finish theirs up. I'm just going to go use the washroom. And yeah, just one moment. What's the... do I have that? Alright, I am back. Where is it? There it is. Bam. So, Famous One, hopefully you were able to follow that link. Or, hopefully you were able to find the SDL community. Hopefully there's some people around. Maybe you'll be able to make some new friends. And with that, I think we are set to be moving into the winter finals, and that is correct. Aloria and Okram will be facing off. As both were successful in being able to 2-0 the higher seeded opponent. One that was suspected to, or at least from my experience, I would have expected other results. But these players have been improving. They have been working, honing their craft. And we're getting some good result. They're getting good results off of it. As right now, these two are guaranteed to, one of them is guaranteed to make it to grand finals, be it Okram or Aloria. Two players who normally are not able to make it as high as they are going to be able to. Alright. Alright, so we got the two players in. We are all set. They are proceeding with the stage striking. I don't remember who came in first. I think it was Aloria. Which means we are going to be promptly diving into the winners finals. Aloria facing off against Okram. This is a pretty interesting matchup. It can be very swingy for either side, as both play characters who excel very much in having advantage positions. Looks like actually I'm mistaken here. Aloria choosing to switch over to Twintel to potentially have a little bit more coverage and some more options while facing off against this terrifying and oppressive Grass. Twintel being one of the stronger characters, especially for newcomers, as whenever you hold that dash out, whenever you see that gold shining around Aloria, that is Twintel activating her Actress Aura. And what you can see, it's very clear what it does too, is whenever it's active and an arm is around, it slows that opposing arm by 50% of its speed and gives you an extended amount of time to be able to calculate and plan out what you want to do to respond to it. Rush comes out, but the Ram going to swing in from the side. Aloria punishing the Rush. Still has a while to go before they have theirs charged up. But a good set of tempo, a confirmed parabola into grab, allowing Aloria to start balancing out that difference. And now ready with Rush, could potentially KO with it too. Okram trying to find his way around, but is taking some serious pressure, some heavy damage. And it looks like this round is all but set for Aloria. Okram not interested in giving up yet though. Continue to go in for a couple of good hits. Just barely whipping a few times, and that's all Aloria needed to be able to chip that health down to 0. Aloria taking the first round and setting up with tempo advantage. Has that rush ready still. Okram has yet to, or is just about ready with his second rush hour, and might likely want to throw it out as soon as he can. Does have to be careful though. That Whammer has a heavier body, but it's not fast enough to be able to pummel through those attacks, and Okram starting off strong. Takes away Aloria's rush and deals a heavy amount of damage on top. Aloria trying to dance around these attacks, trying to find a good moment to go in for pokes. Does get a quick exchange. Okram a little bit on the top with that trade though. Is now just looking for a little bit more damage. Looks like he's gonna choose to try to build up rush. Aloria responding as well, going to charge up a rush of their own. Now both players looking for a chance, a shot to go in for the rush. And Okram is going to balance the score 1-1, throwing out a flurry of chuck and nade. That does mean, though, unfortunately for Okram, he's got to be cautious as Aloria has a rush ready, and they're going to be very confident in just abusing this pressure, trying to give Okram the hardest time possible. Throws out the rush, and is going to be able to successfully take away 370 damage. Okram now just a little bit above half, just a little bit below half health, and has a huge amount of work to go before he's able to turn things around. Another rush will be able to set him up with some good tempo if he can get a good connection, but it's all about finding that spot, finding that place, and Aloria is looking to make it as difficult as possible, but not difficult enough, as 290 damage comes in, and Okram now set to start going in for some pressure. Aloria quickly backing off, forcing Okram to back off though, and now has another rush ready. Tries to go for the grab, but a little too hesitant on that. And this rush is going to close it out. Aloria taking the first set. Looking at the lower bracket as things are currently updating. Defer and Alumental are currently butting heads. Rifa and Yoshi, that set has been determined. The match, Rifa taking it 2-0 and will be looking to face off against either Defer or Alu. And it looks like we are going to be diving straight back into Mausoleum. Both players liking the stage, liking how it's treating them. Okram wanting to take a second shot, see if maybe just a quick change of approach can turn things back in his favor. And starting things off, we've got double nades, looking to just pummel down all of Aloria's health and shield. Immediately just blasts away. Aloria quickly having some pretty weakened arms, taking a lot of damage just from this pummeling. If that shield takes too many more hits, it could easily lead Okram into breaking that shield. And just his tempo is working so strong for him, he's going to be able to land the KO. Sets a round point. Quickly turning this bout on its head. And Aloria responding, choosing to throw on the Parabola, looking to have a little bit more of a heavyweight to counter. Nothing can counter a strong rush like that. 350 damage. And Aloria now just victim to a flurry of pain and damage. Quickly knocked into 30% health. And Okram has yet to be scratched more than a light scratch on his armor. Aloria still definitely can turn this around, but it is not an easy task right now. That grab going to help open up that opportunity a little bit. One more trade. Okram now ready with the rush. Aloria has to be able to dance around this. Needed to throw the rush out and try to parry it with the whammer, but choosing not to do so, let Okram get a very safe and easy punish. The score brought to 1-1. It looks like we will be moving over to DNA Lab. Loria not seeming too keen or interested on trying to go through that blast barrage once again. Seeking out a little bit more defensive of an option. Looks like I'm expecting Okram's a little happy with this. Has a little bit more space to work with himself. Brass definitely works well with a lot of space and room to breathe, but so does Min Min. And we're going to have to see how this exchange turns out here. Both characters very powerful when they get that tempo advantage. Can easily run the other side over. Both have a couple of tricks underneath their sleeves to turn the tides back in their favor. Aloria going to quickly try to charge up that Dragon Arm. Okram going to go in quick 50 damage to set up that lead. And is it going to be able to connect with a charge nade? Sets up with some good tempo, but it's not going to hold out long. These pillars going to give Aloria more than enough space to be able to cover out a lot of Okram's onslaught. And now has that Dragon Arm free and ready to throw. Up until, again, another Dragon Arm just comes, or another nade comes in. Aloria desperately trying to get that Dragon Arm charged up, but we are seeing exactly what I was talking about before. Where as soon as one player is just advantaged, the other side struggles so much. That's going to be a nice shield breaker. Okram gets a nice 50 damage on top of the 100 or so off of that shield break. Currently looking to try to fight his way out of this corner. Doing an excellent job, playing very patiently, not even respecting that rush. And Aloria, too cautious to use it, is going to end up getting knocked out. And now Okram setting up to have match advantage. Just needs to be able to take this one set further. Aloria going in with a classic brass counter, the Seiki. Can eat through that deflect, the little blue lines, the beams that Brass is throwing out here and there with that explosion. And as it is a shock arm, it can still shock Okram out and leave him nice and open to some strong combos. That's going to be a heavy 440 damage rush. As Aloria sets up with a very strong tempo lead and forces Okram to have to be the oppressor here. A strong rush, but he's going to get caught out by that blast, not able to effectively fight back against it. Finally starting to find some tempo. Gets the knockdown, starting to get these serious chains. And Brass pressure is so terrifying if you do not know how to play around it. You do not have that expertise or confidence. We're seeing that just off of those exchanges alone, Okram has balanced out the health pool just by a decent chunk. Not enough to have that lead, but I think a rush could KO if Aloria is not careful. Okram could easily lead into some deathly play. And that is going to be an excellent opportunity as Aloria shocks themselves, leaving them completely open and exposed. And now Okram, match tempo, looking for one more win to make it to Grand Finals. Oh gods! There's a dancing shark on the screen, and 10 people just got gift subs. That's a lot of them. Paul! Paul! Thank you for all the subs. And congratulations to everybody who now is a subscriber. You all also just got called out by him. Your names are not on the Twitch chat screen, and I can see who you are. I'm calling out all you lurkers for doing that cool thing and lurking and just chilling out and enjoying yourselves without being too stressed. I hope you're all having fun lurking and watching. As that moment has happened, I should probably take a note to let everybody know. Everybody who has a tier 1 subscription is eligible to add a song to the stream playlist. You heard it at the start of the stream. It plays at the start of every stream to some degree. If you are interested in having a song added in, terms and conditions, of course, do apply. You will find that information, I believe, specifically on my Discord channel. There might be information below chat as well. I could actually put info down there. Quick rush, and it's gonna connect. Aloria taking the round, whamming and bamming down. Whammer, Cool Whammer Club is the best. Paul with the train. He's still choo-chooing with all of the subs. That means that you are also eligible to add a song to the stream playlist. Terms and conditions apply. TLDR. Basically, the rules sum up to nothing gory, nothing greater than like 6-7 minutes, and nothing copyrighted. So like, share something from like a content creator who's trying to build up some notoriety. So share somebody who's like doing remixes or just loves their content and wants to try to develop it more. Just let me know. I'll probably add it into the stream playlist. Just send me messages. As you're sending me those messages, Okram sending Aloria the message that he does not tolerate them being here, as he's going to be able to land a Fierce Rush, brings the score to 1-1, and is now looking for one more win to be able to move on to the grand finals. We are on match point here. Aloria throws out the rush, but Okram going to be able to safely catch and block it out. Now Aloria immediately set into a very disadvantaged place. DNA Lab not working out too much, might need a little bit more theory crafting to go in here, as Okram is just battering this place down. Brawn is clearly much more greater than wits in this exchange, as Okram quickly knocking Aloria down to 50% health, and is just looking to lead into a little bit more. That pillar gonna save Aloria though from a strong wide grab. Whammer doing what it does best and delaying the opponent, slowing them down to a crawl, giving the wielder a little bit more breathing space, a little bit more time to plan things out. Both players about even. Okram still holding onto a light lead. Likely trying to force Okram into throwing out that rush so that they have a good counter tool. But it's not going to be to any avail as Okram lands that rush fully. Now Aloria in critical condition. Cannot take any more hits beyond just that straight hit there. And with that, Okram will be moving on to grand finals, utilizing the ultimate powers that Witch Brass provides. That's right, you do. That does mean that everybody in chat who just got gift subbed, which I'm pretty sure is everybody, you're now allowed to use like 4 different emotes. My personal favorite being that hug. I do love it. It does not actually, Gilly. We are currently 2 subs away, and the rule with that as well requires that I consistently be on that goal. So I can definitely pick up a new game to add to the list. But yeah, it'll only last. Yes, a new game. I will be choosing that game though, Gilly. I choose based on my needs and interest on what I feel like would be best streamed content. I'm also gonna let you know, you really don't need to play this game, because I'm gonna get Pocket Rumble eventually. You just don't worry you're poppin' Lola. You're pretty poppin' Lola. I'll get it. I'll probably get it not too far into the future. And I'm just gonna fix up the overlays quickly because just conversations happened. Now let's see. This is lower semis, I believe. There we go. Your homie little head. There you go. I'll pick up Pocket Rumble. Don't stress on it. That's something that I was planning on getting regardless. Oh, Riffa with a Dragon Cancel, an excellent bait. Puts Defer into critical health. Now Defer having to try to find his way back in. Type words here or else Pocket Rumble doesn't happen. What? Oh! Oh! Paul just subscribed to tier 3. Paul! Pocket Rumble was already gonna happen! Wait. Oh no, that's not a stream game. That would be a personal game. Oh, I was gonna say I could get Ring Fit Adventure. I'm not streaming myself doing exercise. So unfortunately I won't get that. I'll have to look at my wish list. Or games coming up. What game is this? It is ARMS! The springy, bendy, twirly boxing game. I'm sure nobody here has heard of it. It's a pretty niche game. Only like maybe one people ever. And Riffa going to be able to take a confident set point. We are all very distracted, and I completely forgot to commentate that entire set. I blame Paul. I don't need to buy a new game. Paul, why would you do this? I don't need to do this because I've got Breath of the Wild now. There you go. It's a lot easier for me to just do this. Lazy butthead, yes. Oh, Ollie, thank you. Thank you for having the link ready. You're all precious beans and I love you. To those who lurk, to those who watch, to those who do something, I don't know. Much appreciate. Just as much as I'm sure Defer is appreciating this pressure and damage that he is currently eating right now from Riffa. He's currently holding a pretty confident lead and an excellent setup for the rush. 310 damage. Just looking for a little bit more of an opportunity. A couple more chips hits is all they need. Or just a wake-up grab like that as Defer completely blindsided. We're gonna continue things right off with Ripa again. Bullying the fur right now. Slamming him down, looking to try to... Not very content with the fact that he just got knocked out by a rest. Seeing the fur slip on this max brass. Now he's got to play against this one too. He's gonna take 210 damage from that rush. I knew save arms as a scam to get people to move over to save pocket rumble. And with that, Ripa going to be able to move on 2-0 against Defer to face off against Aloria. Ripa will be moving on to face off against Aloria. In case I just clarifying in case I said otherwise. If you listen to yourself, you know what? I should just become like a powerhouse, like just abandon all casual gaming and just become a powerhouse for competitive gaming. Just be like, I'll stream Celeste speedrunning. I'll stream competitive Rivals of Aether, Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Infinite. What else is there? Just all of the games. Sushi Striker tournaments. Yeah, exactly. Oh, DNA left. I'm so befuddled and confused now. I blame Paul. Hashtags. How about say hashtag save everything? Hashtag save it. Oh gods, wow, it... Apparently, I'm gonna have to fix that quickly, because... body shouldn't feel that itchy and weird that often. Why did it do it twice? It's supposed to not go for another hour. Oh, everybody need to gender shift anyways. Oh, and Okram also gets a gift sub. Aloria doing a pretty solid job here. Has Riva knocked into critical health. Just looking for a little bit more damage. That rush could definitely do it. A stray hit could also work as well. If Rifa just gets one good exchange and then his rush, he could easily turn this around, but that Chakram gonna seek its way in. And Aloria gets the round, makes an excellent play, and has that advantage. Seems like players are starting to figure out what they need to do to play around Rifa's Ninjara, causing him a little bit of trouble and a little bit of not joy. Out comes the rush. It's not going to be able to connect fully. Rifa dashing a little too off to the side, and that spray of bullets going to cause Rifa to miss. Aloria now just looking for a little bit more damage. That Dragon Chakram proving to be exceptionally meddlesome, especially with a strong Parasol to parry down all these Tri-Blast pokes. Really allows Aloria's arms to complement each other to the fullest. And with that, Aloria gets that first set point. Where's the... There. Now it looks like we are going to be staying at DNA. Rifa gonna start changing things up a little bit. Not content with how his Ninjara is treating him. We're gonna be experimenting, bringing out the Masango. We've seen this Masango before, and it's had some exceptionally good plays. I think Rifa's starting to warm up to this character a little bit more. We might be seeing some of the true potential that Masango holds here. That swift movement, the quick dancing, definitely going to be advantageous. But again, that Dragon Chakram proving to be such a challenge. Massive hurdle for Rifa to have to overcome. He's able to knock that Dragon Arm off of Aloria, starting to get some good pressure. Both go for a Dendy grabs, both get hard denied. And Aloria finally finds a chance to get that Dragon Arm charged up and ready. Red mask donned, and that's going to lead into the KO. If he put any other mask on, that would not have killed. But because he got 20 bonus damage with the Bull Mask's power, he's going to be able to lead into some exceptionally high damage and sets himself up with the first round. Aloria responding, putting on Double Roaster, the good old boxer power. Looking to try to just pummel down everything Rifa has. Rifa not even going to try to utilize that rush for more pressure. He's just going to gun for that damage. Looking to just hold this advantage and hold that damage. Aloria finds a chance, sneaks in a quick grab, now has a lot of opportunity, especially with that Dragon Arm charged up. Start going in ham. We are seeing heavy damage coming in on Rifa's face as a result. Aloria eventually getting knocked out now on that last hit. Still has that rush ready. Sees a moment to go for it and is going to be able to successfully connect, knocking Rifa into critical health. But it's going to be a giant megawatt to the face as Aloria dashes right into their own demise and sets the score to 1-1. Misango proving that you can't just walk over this guy. Here comes the giant fist! I like how it used to be Rifa had so many different characters and setups and builds that he just experimented and played around with. And so many different styles and approaches that he can come up with so many different characters. And I think we finally have Rifa settling on his choices. Where it's just like, yeah, it's Ninjara. And then after that, it's it's Misango. And he's just like, yeah, this is the character I'm going to use to counter people. And people aren't going to like it because he's going to have a really scary Misango. And most people, again, one of the big reasons why people struggled against Ninjara for the longest while was because matchup experience. He's difficult to learn how to play against. And even then, there's still a lot Ninjara can do. Misango is a lot of that too. Sometimes it's really hard to learn how to counterplay a Misango, especially when you choose two arms that are just easily, just not guaranteed knockdown tools. And Rifa's just like, oh hey, I can just play Red Mask for the rest of this set, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, Aloria is trying everything possible, but as long as Rifa is keeping up tempo, playing a steady pace, no grab's going to be able to reach in. Aloria's going to just kind of be stuck trading with a few hits, maybe getting a couple of uncharged pokes. But overall, Rifa's generally getting all of the trades in his favor, and Aloria just slowly losing more and more ground. Red Mask comes off, and Rifa going to be taking 365 damage. Finally, does not have that mask. These arms are a lot more scarier, and Aloria now knocking Rifa into that final bit of health. Oh, Aloria goes for the punch, and Rifa going to be able to safely snatch it out with the Phoenix. Both players now one hit away each. Neither one wants to get knocked down here, and it's going to be Rifa taking it with a quick Phoenix. Rifa now having some good tempo, has a good advantage. Aloria feeling forced to bring out the homie. Again, this is not going to be too effective against armor. But looks like Rifa's just going to go in with the blue mask instead, choosing to dance around these attacks. especially with Aloria not having that Dragon Arm charged up. It's going to be very easy for him to catch and dance around these smaller, lighter tools. Aloria thinks they have that chance for the Dragon Arm, but the homie betrays them. They take some light damage instead. Rush ready. Aloria has to find a way to make it connect, otherwise Rifa is just going to be running away with this set. But it's going to be a safe block. The Masangan pillar going to prevent too much serious damage. And Aloria now rushless. And pretty vulnerable to this rush KOing. They do have a Dragon Arm ready though. Has to make sure that they do not get hit by any charge hits. Any confirmed would lead into their demise. Manages to safely block that. That is weakened arms though. Any arm damage could easily lead Rifa into more potential damage. Aloria managing to make the recovery only for so long. The Phoenix coming in. Megawatt. Homie saving Aloria this time, but not for long as one more Megawatt comes in and Rifa sets 2-1 advantage against Aloria. Looking for one more set to be able to claim the match and face off against Okram in the grand finals. Rifa doing an exceptional job with this Masango, just pressuring out, making so many good plays and calls, handling Aloria's Min exceptionally, and is going to force Aloria off of the Min, and now we have a Twin Tail. I feel like this means that Aloria is put in a really bad place. If they manage to take this, Rifa has free reign to pick whoever he wants. If Aloria chooses to basically probably going to be put in a really bad place, because if Aloria wins this, I'm pretty sure the Twin Tail really struggles against Ninjara. If they choose to switch over to Min, they immediately have to deal with struggling against this Masango again. So even if Aloria makes this counter work, it's such an uphill battle for them. So far though, they aren't necessarily getting the opportunity. Does find a light chance to start getting some tempo, some damage, dancing around these attacks, trying to just poke in a little bit more. Has to respect that Megawatt so much that Heavy Body could just easily power through both of Aloria's attacks. And Rifa now ready with that rush. He could easily just parry down anything Aloria throws if they're a little too safe, a little too unwise with their calls. Does manage to knock the yellow mask and a blue mask to follow. Aloria's starting to get some more ground, a lot more tempo. Rifa just desperately trying to find a chance to pressure Aloria out, but Twin Tail with that Actress Aura is so difficult to play around to counteract. And Aloria is capitalizing on that difficulty. Just gonna choose to eat that rush, and now so much more space to breathe. So much easier, and Rifa finally gets to force Aloria into a rough place, but without a rush, Aloria is going to have an easy and safe rush punish. And that timer is going to tick. Aloria taking that first round. Gonna see the Megawatt step away. This Twin Tail just working out too well for that big heavy body. Furchuck going to be a little bit faster. Can lead into some ice chains as well. Quick chip. Aloria tried to go for that grab, but if you're not careful, especially if your opponent's set into a boxing tempo, grabs usually do not work out too well, except in that one case, completely blindsiding Rifa, as he was still trying to set up, getting ready to throw out that rush. And now without that yellow mask, it's going to be much more difficult. Sees a beautiful chance though. And with that, brings the score to 1-1. A very confident round for Rifa. Has to be cautious. Aloria does have a rush ready. Rifa now playing back heeled. Having to try to find a way around Aloria's pressure. Without getting caught up by too much damage. But if you're not careful enough, if you can't just force your opponent to throw out the rush, sometimes they're just gonna start trampling you, and you're just gonna take heavy damage as a result. Does manage to block the rush, but still at the cost of losing almost half of his health, just trying to stay safe against Aloria. Finally finds a chance to throw on the red mask. That is going to be good armor, but as long as Aloria is focusing on charging these arms, armor isn't going to matter as a quick flaming knockdown puts Rifa just above critical health. And Rifa has to go through 75% of Aloria's health while only having 25 of his own. This rush not going to be able to help out in that exchange as Aloria again safely blocking it out. Aloria's trying to set up for a confirm. Not going to throw out the rush yet. Just looking to pressure, looking to tempo, throw out these attacks. A nice roaster to connect. Grab can KO, but beyond that has to be a rush or a couple more hits beyond. Rifa slowly trying to build up another rush. Gets the freeze. Successfully baits out the rush. Even just dodges it. But not for long enough. Aloria gets the punish. Score brought to 2-2. I'm expecting Aloria to be put in a very bad place now. As we're either seeing the Min Min against Masango, or we're seeing Twintel against Ninjara. Considering we're going to Mazo again, we're probably seeing a Ninjara. And you know Aloria is likely accounting for the fact that Ninjara is probably sitting in the wings, ready to step in. And we've got Red Jara. Not even the classic one. We've got a different Ninjara. Ninjara with Homie, Toaster, and the Kablammer. I feel like the standard Ninjara could work, but I'm always down to see some different stuff going in. Starting things off, both players quickly diving right into that dance. Aloria now has to be cautious of these explosions, as does Rifa, as both get blasted by that Homie. So far, the Ninjara proving to be far more meddlesome. Aloria has to be the oppressor now, where before they were safe to play at a safe, slow game. Now it's Rifa just keeping up this chase, going in for these really good pokes with the Homie. And Aloria having to chase after, try to keep this pressure going without getting caught by that Homie blast. Rifa in a pretty confident place. That rush could easily put Aloria back in advantage. But that Homie could just continue to deepen that gap with the stray blows, with those light explosions. Well, neither player wanting to throw out that rush yet. Aloria likely going to have to throw it out if they want to balance this out now, as Rifa just slowly getting more and more control. The grab, though, allowing Aloria a little bit more space, a little bit more of an opportunity. And with 10 seconds left, if that rush connects, that's going to balance it out again. But if the full rush connects, that not even going to be able to connect as Ninjara definitely dances aside. Aloria not aiming their arms appropriately, accounting for that shield teleport. And with it, Ninjara going to be able to take that round. Now looking for one more victory for Rifa to be able to make it to Grand Finals, get his rematch. He's got the Kablammer nice and equipped. Not going to be able to deal anything too serious beyond some shield chip damage as Aloria safely dances aside. With a nice, well-aimed grab, completely catching Aloria off guard. And on the note of off guard, Aloria left suspended in the air because of that trampoline, not able to bring up the shield, and the Kablammer smacking them down as a result. Aloria throwing out a strong rush of their own, balancing out that health difference. Not by a significant amount, but enough that Allure has a bit more ground to work with. And that Roaster going to be able to set them up with advantage. Rifa now having to close in that distance. 40 seconds left on the clock. Toaster connection just needs a couple more hits. You can tell Allure is very worried about this rush pressure. And is starting to take a couple of light hits, trying to build up another rush so that they have a counter play, an option. Every Toaster connection, though, taking away a bit of that rush charge, making it take a little bit longer for them to be able to shield it. But they're not going to have the time they need as a strong Kablammer rush comes in. Glove connection. Just followed up with a quick Kablam. And Rifa will be moving on 3-2 to face off against Okram. And Rifa, having to climb in from the lower bracket after getting blindsided by Okram, has fought his way back and is looking for that rematch, looking to get that bracket reset and reclaim this tournament for himself. It looks like we're going to be starting things off right with Temple Grounds. Going straight back to where this all started, and Rifa bringing out his classic Ninjara. Both players sticking with their primary setups. This worked out pretty well for Okram before, but just one of the most exciting and interesting things about this game is there's so much going on in terms of play, tempo, strategy that you can easily turn one loadout into a completely different playstyle as long as you are planning things out appropriately, as long as you're utilizing your ability to adapt. And so far that is working out alright for Rifa, holding out to that light lead, but it's gonna get taken away as Okram rushes him down, tries to go for that grab again. Rifa not following for it this time around, and is trying to find an opportunity to chase Okram down. Okram using every last bit of health of these pillars to protect himself. The dragon snipe. Rifa trying to go in for the confirm, but the Roaster connecting just a little bit too quickly. And just like that, Rifa has balanced it out just enough, and this rush is going to set himself up with a lead. Okram ready with a rush. He's looking for a nice chance to throw it out. You can tell Rifa's worried of getting caught out by it. He's gonna eat some decent damage, 270. But both players are still alive, still kicking. Okram's so close to falling. These chip hits, those explosions. The explosion on Rifa as the Funchuck blasts him down, and Okram steals the first round with a well-calculated Funchuck. Diving into our next round, Rifa quickly switching over to the Slamamander, utilizes it to safely keep himself alive without getting punished, and now is quick on the oppression, ready with Rush, looking to try to pummel Okram down. We've got a Rush ready on the battlefield for Okram as well, though. The high increased grab speed because of that Slamamander, making it that much more difficult for Okram to punish that grab attempt. He's going to quickly get caught out by it, but throws out his Rush, 310 damage. Sets himself up with health lead. Rifa trying to go in for the punish, and he's going to be able to make it connect. A full 375 Rush. Couple of quick chips hit. Rifa just looking for some more damage. Okram trying to build up this rush as much as he can while tempoing Rifa out. Only needs one more hit on Okram to stay in this. Okram looking to build that rush, get the KO confirmed. He's got it ready, throws it out, and it's going to be able to connect. Okram, again, well calculated, well planned out. Was fully aware of his position, what he needed. And he's going to be able to get that rush and throw it out. In that situation, definitely very exceptional call that Okram was able to make. Just recognizing how close he was to rush, and he just only needed those few more moments. If Rifa was able to catch on to that, might have been wise to throw out a grab in that exchange. But that is the past, and we're going to be moving straight into the future as we're heading into Mausoleum. I don't know how Mausoleum relates to the future, as this is generally a place where dead people are, but works. And we are going to be diving straight into this with Rifa starting off with advantage, getting that quick tempo, some light damage, and pushing Okram back against the wall without a wide amount of space. You would think smaller stages like Mausoleum and Sparring Ring are really good stages for Brass, but it also kind of plays into a counter tune, as whenever Brass is disadvantaged here, which happens pretty often because you only have that buff state for 5 seconds, it makes it really easy to pressure your opponent because they cannot back up, they cannot run away. And a nice evade from Rifa. Gets that pressure, gets Okram knocked into critical, and sees a nice moment for the rush. He's gonna just go straight for it. And sets himself up with the first round point. Theoretically, you can get hit by your own lockjaw projectile in rush or out of rush. Go ahead, try it out. You can blow yourself up with Seiki, Homie, Nade, Tri-Blast, Lockjaw, Glusher. You can blow yourself up with Glusher. It's not the easiest thing to do, but if you're close enough to your opponent and that charged explosion goes off, you will blow yourself up with Glusher. Okram ready with rush. He's trying to find his way in. Almost made that connection, but was just a little too slow with that roaster. Made an excellent call there. But even when you're making the right call, you have to be able to time it right. Otherwise, the right call is just as bad as making a wrong call. Okram trying to find a way to get this tempo to turn to his favor. But Rifa just slowly poking him out, slamming him down. And 1 point goes to Rifa, bringing the score to 1-1. Beyond like homie explosions, most explosive arms require some shenanigans to get blown up by them. Homie arms are really easy to blow yourself up with. It's funny. It's even funnier, or it's also unfortunate because while homie becomes a heavy arm while rush is activated, just to clarify for anyone who is unaware, when you throw out your rush, it upgrades to the next level of weight. Light becomes medium, medium becomes heavy, heavy becomes super heavy. Which means that a toaster will be able to power through a megawatt. Tri-Blast or Tri-Bolt will be able to power through a Funchuck or gloves. But that also means that a homie becomes heavy, so it will clash with Whammers, Kablammers, Guardians, Megawatts, Megatons. And if you are the wielder of such an arm and aim it and time it appropriately, you can throw out your heavy arm to parry the Funchuck or the homie in just a way where it lands square in the wielder's face and they blow up for 200 damage. This stage not working out too well for Okram. Rifa's changeout working out exceptionally for this stage. The guaranteed knockdown and that heavyweight just leading into so much pressure. And Rifa going to be able to take this first round. No more playing games, Rifa says. He wants to take this tournament, and he is not giving up until it is his. Okram trying to find an opportunity, leaps into the air. Unfortunately for him, Whammer and Kablammer, both excellent anti-air tools. If you jump above them, they will smack you regardless. Okram finally finds a chance to buff up. Gonna try to utilize this tempo, but ends up leaving himself exposed to another toaster. The rush gonna come out. The Kablammer powering through those attacks. Okram, fully aware of that danger, just chooses to stop mid-rush, brings out the shield, and keeps himself alive and fighting. Even after eating all those chip hits, Rifa, not able to get the knockdown off of an armored brass, ends up getting grabbed. Now just a bit above critical health. Okram gonna go for another grab and connects once more. Jar locked into a corner is not a happy place for him. Okram building up that rush. Rifa hesitating a little bit more, doesn't go to get charged up. And again, as a result, Okram going to be able to take a round off of that call, off of that recognition and opportunity. Something a lot of players do not do competitively is they are not as cognizant about rush, what you want to do to play around it as others can be. Ooh, an excellent catch though. Rifa landing 385 damage, setting himself up with a strong lead. And the Kablammer walling Okram out as he leaps into the air. Nice poke with the toaster, just looking for one more hit. But he goes for the double punch if he went for the grab there. Now Okram free to breathe, free to charge up, try to get that rush ready once again. Rifa playing a little more patiently, has his own rush ready. Sees a moment as Okram leans too hard into that boxing tempo. And Rifa now 2-1 advantage, looking for one more victory to bring the bracket reset. Yeah, it looks like Okram's going to be taking us to sparring ring for this next bout. Going to work out a little bit better than Mausoleum, as Okram can take advantage of these corners now. So can Rifa though. And a lot of Brass's weaknesses that you can experience in Mausoleum very much are still present in the sparring ring. Lots of corners, a little bit of space, and Rifa gonna quickly point that out by booping him right in the snoot with a quick toaster to begin. And just like I was talking about, Okram really struggling to keep up in this small, tight-knit stage. He is not having any room to breathe, and as a result, he has yet to get that buffed up state. And he's gonna get perfected right by Rifa. This red Ninjara burning with passion and looking for that yellow little circle. Rifa ready, again, ready with another rush, or ready with that first rush. Every time Rifa connects with that charged toaster, every fire hit, you'll notice, like, look at Okram's little triangle, that thing that's building up. If he gets hit by a charged toaster, you will visually see it shrink down. It will become an itty-bitty little uncharged Dorito nugget. Okram finally gets that rush ready. He's gonna go in for the double chalk rush. Finally gets some damage in, and now with permabuff, means it's gonna be a lot easier to pummel through. But the Kablammer is just utilizing that weight advantage and allowing Okram just to pummel through all these attacks. One more grab is all it takes, and completely turns that round on its head. If you do not have an effective win strat against a buffed up Brass, especially an enraged one, there's a high chance you're not going to be able to take him out. It would arguably be a good strategy for Rifa to hold onto this rush until Okram is at critical, or not knock him into critical until he has another rush ready. it would genuinely be an actually effective strategy here. Whether or not Rifa is able to do that is a whole nother story, though. Okram knocked just a bit above critical, chooses to throw out the rush. It's going to be a safe confirmation as 2 Chakrams will just envelop the screen. And Ninjara's shield really struggles against that. Now Okram is permanently charged. Rifa has to make these right calls, and he's doing so. Sees that moment, but he just uses it just a pinch too early. Finds the way in regardless as Okram desperately trying to snuff him out. And ladies and friends and loves, we have ourselves a bracket reset. The kind of player you can corner on sparring, his secret is that you won't. He'll just tell you no. And now both players are on the cutting room floor. Whoever takes this best of 5 will be winning this tournament. Rifa's done this before. He's very known for getting knocked into the lower end and having to overcome bracket resets. Generally, it's so much more confident. Okram seems like he has a couple of tricks that might be able to work out for him, though. But right now, Rifa is starting to rev up. And Okram's starting to lose more and more grasp of the match. We'll have to see if Okram's able to cook up a new strategy, a couple new ideas, or find a way to tempo into Rifa's pressure. As it looks like Rifa's really starting to become fully cognizant of what he wants to do to counteract this brass. Charge Poach Popper connects. Rifa currently holding on to full health, has yet to be hit, and Okram currently at 50%. If he charged Popper connects, that's not going to be the KO, but Rifa would basically KO, be near enough to KO. Now it's definitely going to kill. If he just went for that before, any straight hit would knock Okram out. That means he also has to deal with an enraged brass, and we've seen how scary that can be. I suspect Rifa is just looking for a good chance to be able to get the rush to connect. Couple of quick chip hits though, 3 of them with that lockjaw. Quickly puts Okram in his state. If he gets hit by that again, he will be out. And that's exactly what happens as that lockjaw chases down, munches on that brassy face. And Rifa gets himself that first round point. Lockjaw is generally considered the strongest arm in this game, capable of doing the most damage on its own compared to every other arm, utilizing 3 separate hits capable of being landed, and it's exceptional at shield pressure as well. The first, of course, being that blast hit, the second being the explosion from that blast hit, and the last being that maunchy little face that you're seeing chase after Okram after every charged launch. And with that, Rifa making some clean work, has that first set, and is currently taking some serious tempo advantage. Okram's really going to have to come up with some new strategies, pull out all the stops if he wants to be able to turn things back in his favor. As Rifa is currently just running wild. To follow up on what you said, Matthias, Mechanica can actually work really well against Ninjara, as she's probably the best heavy for the matchup, as her speed and being able to abuse her armor allows her to more effectively chase after and corner pressure Ninjara than any other heavy. The big challenge is just learning to respect your foe. Oh, solid grab attempt, but Okram just misaiming by a hair. And Rifa going to be able to continue on running away with this event. Well, actually, no. I'm incredibly mistaken. Rifa is currently at KO range for this rush. And Okram is steam plowing this Ninjara. The strategy has changed, and Okram feeling much more confident in what he needs to do. I don't think he's even going to want to throw out that rush. He's just looking for one more hit. And with that, Okram gets that first round. Matthias, if you do want to see Mechanica play and get some kind of idea, just watch me play competitively. You'll probably get a good idea on some of the things Mechanica can do. The easiest place, there's a playlist of a lot of my competitive journeys there. I've got a nice playlist for you can check out. Beyond that though, yeah, just keep an eye. Do friendlies with me, ask to play with me. Maybe one day I'll be free and say yes. I'm usually bad at it though. Going back into this set, Rifa turning the tides, currently holding on to a light lead, but he's just gonna knock Okram into Enrage. And leaves himself not open enough to take the full rush, but still taking 200. Almost has a rush ready of his own. Only needs some straight explosions. And it's going to be just a full out rush. Rifa just determined to take this round, not wanting to give Okram the chance to turn it back and close the set there. We're going to have a health reset. Both players now looking to win this round to take the second set. Whammer's also... Funchuck and Whammer are also situationally good against Ninjara. It's a time and place thing. Or more specifically, like, if you have the right experience to know when to use a Funchuck or Whammer against Ninjara, they will work really well. But you have to know the right information. Oh, there's the disarmament. That's going to be a delightfully straightforward and punishing rush. Okram now at critical. Only can take so many more hits. He's going to choose to go for the rush here. And Rifa safely dodging aside and just jabs him at the thigh. Knocking Okram into a very dicey position. As these two arms that Rifa has are so good at just chip and poke. And he does not have the health to get chipped and poked. Here, let me do this. As Rifa gets that final hit. And is now 2-0 advantage. Looking for one more win to be able to close out the tournament on top of that bracket reset. Where is it? Where did it go? Yeah. If you want to see how I play Mechanica, just follow that link and it'll give you a nice playlist. There's some parts where it's commentary, so on and so forth, but for the most part, a lot of it is just me competing in things. I kind of want to enter some events. Casual Arms has an event coming up this Saturday. Unfortunately, that's my 8-hour shift. So I can't. And then I try to enter Era stuff, but usually work has me working at the exact hours where that stuff happens. I'm probably going to try to fit in more bi-weekly procrastinations, because that's probably the most accessible tournament for me to enter. Heading into what might be the final set. Rifa going in with the Poison Jara. clapback at hand with the Scully. An effective tool at poking and dealing light damage, slowly, again, chipping away at an opponent's health. And that clapback being an effective wall and barrier. If Okram is to punch it in any way, he's going to reflect that arm right back at him, and he'll have to fight back against his own tools. You can see Okram trying to calculate, trying to plan out what he wants to do to play around it. And so far, it's just proving to be too much of a burden, too much of a challenge, as his health is slowly getting chipped away. Finally finds that grab opportunity, but this might be too little too late. Does grab another second time. Tries to go in. He's going for those grabs, but they're not gonna work. And now we are on match point. Rifa looking for one more win. Looking to chip away this brass. But starting things off, Okram does have that advantage. Gonna quickly get taken away by the clapback though, as it walls out his attacks. And now Okram again having to try to find his way around this giant barrier. Even on a tiny girthy arm like Ninjara's, it just proves to be so troublesome, so meddlesome. And you can see how Okram has to respect it in so many of these exchanges. One thing that you can actually do as a brass player, or Springman, or any of the other characters with deflect, you can actually deflect that clapback. It's not easy to do, but it is definitely possible, and I'd honestly say if you want to learn, if you find yourself struggling in a matchup like this, and you play one of those characters, you need to learn the timing to deflect those arms. Otherwise, this happens. And as a result, match point taken for Rifa. We are done here with Rifa getting the bracket reset and running a clean 3-0 against Okram. And closing out our 46th Scrapstar Series. Congratulations to all who entered. Thank you all for participating. Congrats to Rifa for first, Okram second, and of course Aloria third. So close to getting that first place, but Rifa just a little too sneaky, a little too sly.